Alright guys, check it out. This is a Honda TRX450 03. Just was scrolling down Facebook Marketplace and this thing popped up. As you can see, it's in rough condition. Missing the seat. Looks like he replaced it with a car mat. Plastics have been painted. It looks like they were stripped down to the red after they were painted. Looks like a little aftermarket exhaust on here, muffler. Decent tire tread. You can see it was like painted purpley black. Missing the plastic piece right here. Looks like it's missing the plastic piece for the gas tank, and that's missing the seat. So it's not missing a whole lot. Looks like the levers are different. So it looks like it's a little rough. He said he did have it running for a short period yesterday. He says it's been sitting outside for a year, and it's up for $1,350. I asked him what the best price he could do on it was, and he said $1,000. So that's really cheap for a 03 TRX 450. So we'll go see. We'll go try to look at it, and it's right in Appleton, so it's not too far away. If it's too rough, I'm probably not going to take it, or I'll probably just offer like $500. But I'm guessing the motor needs to be gone through, maybe a new top end. We need to buy a new seat. We need to buy plastics for it. I think I can make these plastics work and maybe use some paint stripper to get that paint off there. I don't know if the headlight's painted or not, but we can do the same with the headlight. Get some new grips for it, get some new levers, stuff like that. Looks like it has a tow hitch on it. You look at that. That's very interesting. Right here. So they must have been like hauling trailers and stuff with it. Very interesting. It's got Nerf bars on it. Aftermarket, it looks like. So quite a few aftermarket parts, which, you know, right there is going to probably add up to $1,000. I can't see what the tires are, but they look pretty decent. And I don't know if the wheels are aftermarket. Looks like everything's there. So I guess we'll go check it out, and maybe we'll go pick it up. Stay tuned. Should be a fun project. All right, guys, we're 2 minutes away here. Hopefully this quad's gonna be good. I'm guessing it's just gonna be horrible. Hopefully I can offer lower than the 1,000 and they'll take that. I'm kind of betting on it. You know, it definitely needs a lot of work, but I'm up to the challenge. I like a good challenge on the Two Vintage channel, so we'll see. You know, it gives me hope that it started up there for a second when he kicked it over yesterday. And it has been sitting for a year, so who knows, it could just be bad gas. So we might get lucky here. We might get it home and it might just start up with fresh gas and your carb clean. Who knows? And then we just have cosmetics to do. But we're like 1 minute away, so we'll see. Well guys, we got the beast back here. Surprisingly, it runs. The guy started it up and it ran down the road. It backfired really bad, but it did run. So that's interesting. And he said he had another guy coming for like $1,350 for it, which who knows if he was lying or not. But it has very low compression. I'm guessing the valves are either really tight or really loose on this thing. So we'll have to look at those. But I mean, it's not horrible, honestly. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought. It definitely needs a lot of work though. So we'll see what happens. I did pick it up for $1,000. I didn't offer less. The guy was pretty nice, and he let me test drive it and stuff, and I didn't really want to pick it apart. Plus he had another guy coming for $1,350, so you know, a running TRX 450R, that's a pretty good price. $1,000 for that. I mean, you can sell the motor for like $1,500, so you know, I thought, why not? Anyway guys, stay tuned. Should be a pretty fun video. All right, here is the beast, the $1,000 Honda TRX 450R. Let's take a quick look at it. I did find out that instead of a 2003, it is a 2004. Let's see, where's the VIN? Right here. So the 10th letter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a 4. I already VIN checked this, it's not stolen. Because that's the first thought when I looked at it. I'm like, paint job on it, it's probably stolen. It's not. I already did the VIN check, like I said. So, this thing, I honestly can't believe it runs. It looks like a piece of junk. Honestly, I almost just left it there for $1,000, but after we ran it down the road, and it's fast. I'm like, maybe I'll just take it. So I ended up buying it for $1,000. When I first kicked it over, it felt like it had zero compression. I think because it's got the decompression release in there, and I think that was just making me worried. But that's how it's supposed to be, so that's good. Let's take a quick walk around of the quad and just check everything over before we start digging into it. Starting with the wheels, it's got Kenda Claw XC tires on it. These are pretty nice actually, lots of tread left on them. And then for wheels, I think it's got ITP. Where did I see those? Right here. Yeah, right there, up there. ITP rims. Back one, same thing. Kenda Claw something. For the pipe, it has a Moto Works exhaust on it. SR4 G2, made in the USA. I think that's a full exhaust system for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments also if you guys like those, or if anyone else is running those, because I hear they're pretty decent. And then it's got for the Nerf bars, it has Jardine right there. You can see. I looked these up. I think these are about like 120 bucks for the set of those. It looks like this thing was raced at one point. It's got the cut-off front fenders. It's got the Nerf bars. It has the wiring around the grips so those don't fall off. It has the newer levers on it. And then it's got the aftermarket exhaust and the better rims and tires. So I'm predicting that this thing was raced at one point, and somebody probably painted it to fit their racing style. I'm not too sure. Could be wrong, but you can see it's been left outside for a very long time. There's leaves everywhere in this thing, packed full of them. There's no air filter, which is a little worrisome, but somehow it still runs. The engine looks pretty good actually. No leaking from anywhere. I let this thing sit a couple days and hasn't leaked one drip from anywhere. The carburetor, the engine, so it looks pretty dry. I do believe it needs a new exhaust gasket though, because when he first started it up, it was smoking pretty good from right here. So maybe someone just put the aftermarket pipe on there wrong or something. Not too sure. Let's see, take a peek underneath the engine here. See what that looks like. Looks pretty good. No JB Weld anywhere. That's awesome. Suspension felt pretty good when I was riding it. This is better suspension than the 400EXs. It looks like this thing got bent pretty good at one point. He just nailed something with that. You can see if you look above, it's all crooked. The side's bent in. So let's just check the A-arms and see if those are bent. Nothing's bent on those. That's good. Surprising that nothing is bent. Check the oil out here. You can see it is filled up to the high level. That's also very surprising to me. It doesn't smell too bad. The gas in it has to be bad. I mean, it's been left outside, you said, all year. Plus, there's no hose on it, so water goes directly into the gas cap. There's not much gas in there. So I think we're fine there. We can just drain that. What else? So the plastics are painted purple, as you can see. It looks like with like regular paint, it looks really, really crappy. We're going to try to get some paint stripper and strip this off. I thought before that the quad was missing plastics. It is not. This is how they come. I completely forgot that the tank just is part of the plastics. Unlike the 400EX, where you've got like the covering for the gas cap and then the thing that goes around the gas tank. This is not the case. It is missing the seat, however. I do have some leads on the seat. I've got two people that have seats without covers on it that are willing to sell it to me for $100. If anyone has a seat that they're not using that is actually covered and in decent looking condition, I will buy that from you. As long as it's reasonably priced, I will buy it from you. But yeah, that's basically all it's missing is a seat. So really, all we have to do is get this thing running right, change all the fluids, strip the plastics, make it back to the red color, make sure the headlight's working, get new levers for it. This lever is broken over here. And then clean everything up. And I think this thing should be good. Also, it comes with a hitch if you want to tow your trailer. So before the race, if you guys want to like maybe tow your trailer that you hauled this thing in, you can do that. I've never seen one of these with a hitch on it before. That's really funny. This thing is beefy though on the back. This grab bar is really beefy. Pretty nice. I don't see a logo on it or anything, but it looks like there at one point was a K&N air filter in here because there's a sticker. Chain has seen better days too. That's really rusty. I mean, this has been sitting outside for sure. Anything else we're missing on this thing? See if the brakes work. Yep, brakes work. See if this one works. Yep. Wow. Both brakes work. Oh, has a tether switch right here. Not sure if that works or not, but you just pull that out. So that's another reason why I thought it was a racing quad here. It looks like it's got an aftermarket ignition. Somebody put it up here for some reason. Not too sure why. But yeah, that's up there. Looks like there's some duct tape on the wires. Not surprising. Didn't have electrical tape, I guess. Let's see, what else? We've got this little guy right here. I always thought this was like a decompression release, but maybe it was to the choke. The choke is right there, so I'm not really sure what this is because my other one didn't have that. But yeah, that's basically it. Definitely a big project, but hard to pass up for $1,000. Stay tuned. We're gonna start it up right now. All right, so some of the symptoms this thing is having is it's backfiring really bad. So when he was taking it down the road and test driving it, it was just backfiring like crazy. So I'm thinking the valves are out of adjustment, and I'm thinking there's bad fuel in it. And I'm thinking because of the air filter, it's getting way too much air. So those are some of the things, but we're gonna start it up. It does back kick really bad when he was doing it, so hopefully my ankle doesn't break here. Let's see. Well, definitely needs a carb clean for sure. You could hear a fire up there for a second, but I'm not going to run it anymore. It's probably got bad gas. Probably needs a carb clean. Doesn't have an air filter on it, so. All right, let's start digging into it. Oh yeah. Surprisingly enough, there's coolant in it. So, Also, the guy said he owned it for about 2 to 3 years. You know, let's just take off the plastics and get to the gas tank. All right, we've got access to the gas line right here. We're gonna see if the petcock is working and see if that gas is flowing through there. All right, let's see what this gas looks like here. See if it flows, turn it to on. Not much flow happening there. Turn it to reserve here. Oh, that's better. Doesn't look like the gas is going to turn off, but that's what it looks like. It doesn't look the greatest in the world. Definitely looks like old gas, for sure. Now I'm going to put some new gas in the cup and compare it. This is new gas. See the difference? That's crazy. This is what it's supposed to look like. So we had some bad gas. Siphon out the remaining gas in here. That doesn't want to drain. All right, all the gas is drained out of it. On to the next step. Little nut. Got the plastics off, the tank off, and then the plastics up here off. We've got access to everything. I found the little, I think it's red. So this is an oil light right here. I'm trying to look for the neutral light now. I don't know if it's gone or what happened to that. Let's see. All these wires in here. I thought there was a neutral light. Maybe there's not on this one. But it must have been connected to one of these. I think because they put the tether switch on, they disconnected the neutral light for some reason. But yeah, we'll continue to look for that. You guys saw the coolant before, but could hardly see it. You can see that's full in there. Yeah, this thing has definitely been sitting outside. Thing is pretty ratty looking. We'll get this hooked back up here. And then what else? All the connections look pretty good. Everything's connected where it's supposed to go. We're gonna take this heat cover off and then check for spark. I just wanna see what we got for spark, and if it's sparking correctly, then probably throw in a new plug. All right, we've got access to the spark plug. See what we got going on in there. It's pretty muddy. See what kind of plug we're running and if it was running right. This guy that sold it to me ran it with the choke on a lot, so we will see what the spark plug looks like. It's not too bad. Actually, really running right. Look at that brown. For a plug, we've got IFR8H11. See if we're getting some spark here. Alright, we're getting spark now. I don't know what the heck happened, but for some reason we weren't getting spark before. Check this out. So we're getting nice blue spark. That's good. I'm thinking the valves are shot on this thing though. It's still kind of hard to kick over, even though we don't have a spark plug in it. So that is not good. I guess we could take off the valve cover and check that. See what we got going on. Ooh, she looks good. Looks pretty good in there. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. Doesn't look too shabby. See, timing chain's pretty tight. Take a little closer look in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's decompression down there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's see. All right, let's measure these valves. We gotta get it to top dead center, and then we can measure these. Let's do that now. Alrighty guys, so looks like we have to remove this cap right here, and then we have to remove this timing cap right here, and we're gonna look for the T. We're gonna rotate the engine, I think that's clockwise from this way over here, and then we're going to look for the T. The cam lobes are going to be pointing in this direction, and then the exhaust you can't really see because they're just those right there. So, and then we're gonna measure. I'm gonna go look at the specs here, but let's quick get it to top dead center and then go from there. We're on the right side of the machine right now. Let's remove this guy. You can see it gives us access to a nut in there. That is very off-centered. You just take an Allen key right there, and we're going to be moving that. So with that, we can move the engine and go in the direction that the engine goes in. So in this case, it would be clockwise. Then we have to remove this one over here. Little timing mark right there. Let's quick do that now. All right, now we're gonna be looking down there for a T. So So let's rotate the engine over and then look for a T. Let's see here. All right, guys, so it looks like we are at top dead center right now. I'll show you a couple different ways to tell that you're there. So we spun the engine clockwise until we found the T up here. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there is definitely a T. You kind of have to look up into on top of the flywheel there. But there's a T, and then the two bolts on the sprocket are going to be up and down. So they're going to be vertical up and down. They're not going to be horizontal side to side. They're going to be up and down like that. And then there's two arrows right here. If you can see that little peg thing sticking out right there on the side. That arrow is going to line up with the line on the sprocket. So there's a line right there and a line right there. You can see those are the timing marks. See those little lines in the sprocket? That'll be lined up with the little arrows on the cam holder. So hopefully that helps if you're trying to find top dead center. We are at top dead center right now, so now we can get these specs and measure the clearances between the cam and the bucket right there, and then these two right here as well, the exhaust, intake. Let's go get those specs. All right, guys, the specs for the intake are 0.006 inches. And then for the exhaust is I think it's 0.11. Let me try to see here. 0.001 inches for the exhaust. So intake is 0.006, exhaust is 0.011. All right, let's measure these now. So we're going from behind here. Let's see, I have a feeling that they're gonna be tight. Yeah. Tight. Tight. I bet you these are tight too. No. Yep, tight, very tight. Yeah, those are super tight. Yeah, that's not good. Let's see how tight they actually are. Let's go down a couple sizes. All right, so I went down the smallest size on the gauge, and they're still tight. It won't fit. So the intake are very, very tight. We're gonna have to reshim those. Let's check the exhaust. It should be 0.011. Let's check for that. All right, we've got 0.011 here. Let's check the exhaust over here. Yeah, that one's good. Barely fits in there. See how it's scraping on there? That one's a little bit looser, but still, that's good. It's scraping on there. You can feel it. Yeah. Exhausts are good. Intake need to be shimmed. So we need to install some smaller shims into there. But I'm getting my shim kit here in a couple days, so we'll work on that later. We're gonna go to the carburetor, get that disassembled. All right, we had to unplug these two wires. One was going to there, one was going to there. Disconnect the throttle cable, it's going to there, and then the choke going to there, right there. So should have it off of there, yeah. All right, that's a beefy carburetor. Let's take a look on the inside. Man, this thing is really gummy. This thing is really dirty. Come on, don't strip on me. Oh, yeah. This one is gonna be rough on the inside, I bet. Take a peek. What is that thing holding on to? Oh, of course, this thing. Now we can see what we're working with here. It's not horrible. The bowl isn't too bad so far. Yeah, it's not too bad. Just the outside of it's like really bad. Let's see what we're running for jets here. Main jet. See what we got going on. $190. See if we can poke that guy out of there. That doesn't like to be off of there. That was on there like that. Like so. Look in here. Those holes are clogged. So good thing we're taking this thing apart. Was the main jet clogged? No, that's a big hole. Alright, let's check out the pilot. $50. Check the fuel screw. Could be a spring in there. Tip of it looks pretty good. Alright, the rubber on the needle looks pretty decent. It's not too hardened up, and then the float is good. No holes in the float or anything like that. So we're probably not even going to use the ultrasonic cleaner for this. I'm afraid all the gaskets and stuff in here would get wrecked. And yeah, so we're just going to spray this out with some carb cleaner, then go and spray it out with the air compressor. Alright, we got the carburetor back on, all good to go. So now we're just waiting on the shims to come, and then we can re-shim it, and it should start right up, I would think, with brand new fuel, carb clean, new spark plug, and then the shims. One thing I do want to do is drain out the oil and see what that looks like. Alright, so we've got crankcase oil that goes into here. I'm not sure how much, but there is a little window for low and high right here, and then we've got the transmission oil that goes into here. And this actually has a rating of 650 centimeters cubed, so 650 milliliters. So let's start draining these out. Just take those caps off, and then there's a bolt underneath the engine that we have to twist off. Alright, we got the oil draining in there. Looks pretty black. So that'll be draining. You can see it's not the greatest oil in the world. And then we can take off the oil filter right here. Zip these off of that. K&N 116 for the number. Doesn't look too bad. Alright guys, well, we got a lot done today. We're getting closer to the first start on this thing. It's come a long way. We got the carb cleaned, we got the valves checked, those need to be shimmed. We're gonna put new oil in it next video. What else are we gonna do? Probably clean it up and then work on the plastics next video. That's a big project right there. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and maybe even learned something. Stay tuned for the next video on this thing. And until next time, we are out.